speaking of education, it's kind of hard to actually juggle being in college full time and racing in the Craftsman Truck Series. How do you juggle the two?
Well, Phil, I have some homework I have to do that's due on Sunday that I have not started yet. So that should probably tell you, what it's like, because it's really two full-time jobs. Being a race car driver requires you to be all in with every part of your personal life and obviously your mental capacity and your physical strength. But it's the same for school. So, I can't even say diverting my focus because I feel like I'm plugged into both entirely. But, I've got to make sacrifices, a lot of personal sacrifice, but also, make some decisions about my priorities. And racing is my number one, and it'll always will be because it's paying the bills and it's also my purpose, I feel like. And so with that being said, I still think education is really important, and so I'll do my best to finish my education at Winston-Salem State University.
I really hope that's not a research paper that's due Sunday.
It's not a research paper. I'm not that dumb. I've left papers and a presentation until Sunday night, but those days are over because I value my sleep. I go to bed like an old man. So
I understand. I had a lot of stuff to do when I was going to Seton Hall years ago. It's brutal. Anyway, through 4 races right now, you're 20th in points for the best finish coming last weekend of 13. It's been rough at times, a lot of contact out there and some chaos, but how would you describe your opening few weeks in the Truck Series full time?
Man, I really just feel like the end of races haven't panned out for us. Like Daytona, we despite our time, and I got up in the top 10 following Chase, and then made my move because I knew rain was a factor, and kind of just got in a bad spot there in the turn 3, and that happened. And then Vegas got stage points, ran anywhere from 7th to 12th all night, and was gonna be in a really good spot, I felt like, with green flag stops, especially. Green flag pit stops, I feel like, is something I'm pretty strong at naturally so far, and I've been really working on trying to improve on that, and I felt really good about it. And then got hit coming on the pit road and kind of ended our night at Vegas. And Atlanta, worked back, into the top 5 for the second to last restart, and probably didn't pick the line that I needed to, and consequently got hung out. And then we cut a tire at the end, so that was a not a good result there. And then last week was in the top 5 again on the last restart of the race, and just kind of killed my tires there, with 5 or 6 to go. So we've had the pace, I think, to run inside the top 10, and I know it'll continue to be that. So part of it, the luck's got to fall our way, but at the same time, there's a lot on my shoulders to do, and I welcome that pressure. So it's been a lot of fun so far, but kind of unfortunate with the luck.
All right. Here at GMS, you have a veteran teammate in Grant Enfinger who he has 154 starts and pretty much been a mainstay.
I haven't run 154 NASCAR or races in my entire life. I'm like under 120. I counted the other day.
I can imagine that, seeing that you're generally so new to racing professionally. How has Enfinger helped you out so far this season?
Yeah, Grant has been a really strong resource for me, and it's been really, it's felt great on personally to see him listen and answer my questions, whether it's we're on the DIL. He actually came to one of my sessions earlier this week and watched it and gave me some pointers, and from talking about placement from Atlanta, doing a track walk with him in Atlanta last week, I guess, and Coda too, to talking about Vegas, and even when I raced at Rev last year, having a little bit of a relationship start there. It's been great to have him as a teammate. Same with Daniel. Daniel was there at the first place I drove a stock car at, which is at New Smyrna Speedway, almost 6 years ago. And so, both of them as teammates is great, and great resources to have.
Righto. Let's see. Now, obviously, we still have limited on-track time in the Truck Series. Tomorrow you're going to get 20 minutes of practice, and then they're going to qualify, and then you race 250 miles. Just how's that really hurt your development as a racer?
Yeah, I don't think it hurts my development, honestly. I'm not worried about it. It's not something I can control, but that just puts an emphasis on preparing from the work that Josh Wise and Scott Speed, or the recommendations that they make to us, because some of us are kids, obviously others are grown men, and It's up to us to take the advice and the recommendations that are given to us about, how to be professional athletes. And Josh always tells us, you race how you live. So, man, with these 20-minute sessions, I mean, it's whatever. Like, it would be great to have an hour session. And that's only the case, I think, at Phoenix and a couple others, maybe Milwaukee. But it's cool for me because everybody's in the same boat, and obviously I'm going to be behind against everybody for the rest of my career and experience. Like, I'm never going to catch up to them in experience. So that's not something that I'm really worried about it because I can't control it. But it's good to know that everybody's got the 20 minutes, and it puts emphasis on unloading strong, and we've done that all year so far, and I know that's going to continue.
All right. With the I think you call it DLO stuff. Is that like the manufacturer?
Yeah, the driver in the loop, DIL. That's the simulators that Chevy, Ford, Toyota have. Okay,
just had to clarify on that. But a lot of racing that experience that you had prior to the last few years was like iRacing and stuff like that. Do you still use it as a substantial development piece for you? And if so, how much?
I mean, I was live streaming yesterday and just racing for fun. So, the sim is a strong tool for me, and I think some racetracks are kind of out of date and the grip is kind of messed up and visual notes are not where they need to be. But other places are pretty spot on, like Charlotte, Phoenix. I feel like those places are really solid, for preparing, I should say, for the real life thing. So I'm on there as frequently as I can be. Obviously, it's hard to balance it with school, but iRacing is a really strong tool for me, and it's a great thing to use not only to learn the racetracks, but just improve as a driver with learning how to place my vehicle, not doing stupid things, obviously, and just honestly having fun with my buddies. So it's a great tool.
Yeah, I wish I could participate, but I don't have a computer that can run it.
So. Don't worry about it, because it will be a rabbit hole that you will spend a lot of money. It's fun. It's worth it.
Oh yes.
It's worth it. Let me say that.
Yeah, you in Monday Night Racing, you raced against one of my colleagues, Michael Massey.
Michael, yeah.
So
I think I wrecked him one time. I definitely wrecked him. Now that I think about it, yeah. To be fair, I think I've wrecked everybody in that league over the years.
Just how much has that grown? I think they just finished season 6 a couple of months ago, and it's become pretty substantial.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great to see the success of the league. I know the work that Ford puts into running that series, and it's great to see its success because he and all those that pitch into it, Gary and Paul and Mendoza, they deserve it. And at times there's been questionable calls, which this happens with every sports league, not just iRacing, but I mean every professional sport, in any sport in particular. So there's nothing new there, but those guys work really hard, and it's great to see their success. And so I haven't run it that much over the last year and a half, as I'm fortunate to be racing in real life. But it's great to again see the success for them, because I know the work they put into it.
They actually have more stringent officiating than even regular iRacing on there.
That is true.
They instituted, and like with them, since he also races in it, they instituted, I believe, an 8 penalty point and your park rule.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because then I'll get myself in trouble.
And I guess they got sick of wrecking, so they instituted some stringent rules to clean things up.
Yeah.
And I guess it worked. I mean, I watched all those races this year, and much less shenanigans.
Our should have been champion Layton's over here, so we were pulling for Layton, but didn't work out unfortunately.
Now,
can we do one more, because we got another one that's another interview that's kind of back to this network.
all right. With Alpha Prime this year, you have a quote selected schedule this year. Have they figured out how many events are you gonna actually do this year?
Yeah, I got it on my Instagram, dog.
Right up.
Yeah, it's Vegas got added on late, so that's not on there. But I've got Dover, Charlotte, Loudon, Watkins Glen, Darlington, the second Darlington, the Roval, and the second Martinsville. So it's 7 left.
Sounds like a lot of fun. It's had a couple of difficult races so far, but how would you describe the first couple of weekends so far in the 45?
Man, I mean, relatively clean, I would say, for the start. I really feel like, running an Xfinity car, I've raced that more, so I'm more comfortable in it than the truck, and honestly, it's made me a lot better in the truck. And so, this year, finishing 21st at Fontana, I threw away a top 20 because I just gave up my right rear at the end. But I definitely have been learning a lot from racing those races, and the competitors in that series. Some of them are really good. Some of them are well, let me not say that. But I learned a lot from competing against them, and Vegas, it helped a lot having the extra track time. I've been there already last fall, and have figured out how to qualify the Xfinity car to begin with pretty strongly, but at that track in particular, I feel like I've figured it out. So just the extra track time has helped, and going to Dover, where hopefully if I'm in the Cup one day, I'll race there, obviously, and Loudon and Watkins Glen and Darlington, places that I haven't been in the truck, and the trucks don't go there. It's going to be great to get some time there and just made it to the end of the races. And I think Alpha Prime Racing's got a really good upside, I think, in terms of just sneakily getting some top 15s and top 10s, and then on an average day, running around 20th to 18th to 25th. So I have the confidence to go to like Dover and Charlotte and those places where well, maybe not Charlotte, but like Darlington and Martinsville, where I can kind of show what I've got. I feel like we can build on the finishes I had last year and sneak some top 12s and top 10s.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Jared Haas with FrontStretch.com. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check one of those 2 videos out that we have right beside you. Visit FrontStretch.com for more great content.